Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kenny. It's a nice overcast day here, partly sunny. Last night was our first frost of the year and it got down to about 38. Pretty chilly this morning early in that big frost on the ground. But we're here to bring to you another beautiful gun. And I'm kind of teasing you a little bit because you're looking at something you probably have never seen. And you're wondering what in the world is that. So I'll give you a few seconds to maybe figure it out, if you will, to maybe come to a conclusion you know what it is. But I want to pause very briefly before we get started and say thank you to all of my subscribers. With God's help and your help, I'm talking about you watch us every week, we are growing a little bit. As I have stated before, we are a very small channel. But many of you tell me that you support this channel by, of course, you tell me because you are a subscriber. And that's the type of person that really is faithful and loyal. You encourage us with your nice comments, and we appreciate that. But if you like what we're doing, we're praying that this channel will take off and grow at an accelerated rate. That's what we want to see happen. My desire is to help you. I mean, show you something that maybe you didn't know about a gun. We're not a great expert, but we offer what we have. We show you and tell you just basic stuff. And listen, that's what I think a lot of people are wanting to hear. If I can help you, that would be my desire. We'll help each other. By the grace of God, we will help each other and our channel will grow. So we want you to prayerfully consider becoming a subscriber to this channel. And that way, of course, we'll help each other with some of the things that I might be able to show you and tell you about, which may not be a lot, but it might matter to you because you want and you are wanting to know. So that's what we're here for, is to help you. And I want to say just simply thank you, just like I always do, just like that, just simply thank you. Now, you're looking at a very old gun. To turn the table just a little bit, this is a very old gun, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to focus on really giving you a couple of demonstrations, and I'm talking about maybe shooting at a good distance and of course, up close to show you about this. This is a piece of history, let me say to you. It goes back a very long time. This is a Winchester. Very quickly tell you what it is. It's a Winchester. It's an American Winchester. It's a Model 61 22 rifle. Now, I want to show you the features on it, and I want to give you just a little bit of history on it, if I may, and try to keep this video as short as I can, you know? Men don't talk that much, you know, do they? Look at this. Feast your eyes. Just check this out. Look at that. Check this beautiful old gun out. Now, you know I've brought you some old guns in the past, and I'm hopefully be able to continue. By the grace of God, we'll be able to bring you some more. Notice that. Kind of looks like a shotgun, doesn't it? Maybe like a pump or an automatic. This is an American classic. It's a Winchester Model 61. It dates back to 1932. That's when the production of this started. 1932 through 1963. They made almost 500,000 of these at that time frame. Now, there was a Model 62 that was prior to this model that actually was introduced in 1906 through 1932. Now this is a hammerless model. Now the 62 model, it was a hammer. It had a visible hammer right here. This one, of course, isn't. This one here is a slide action. Take a look at that. See that? It slides back about 2.5 inches, maybe not that far. And see, right here, notice this. There's your magazine. Of course, it's a tube magazine. Now this has got a 24-inch proof steel. That's what it's made for, Winchester. 24-inch barrel, 24-inch. Now notice this here, if you will, right there. Notice that beautiful grooved forearm that's held on right here with those little screws. Notice that? And back here, notice this grip. It looks just like a shotgun. And that's one of the features that I believe that would indicate that this was probably one of the very first models. Now, of course, we know from reading history on this, this is the very first year model. This is the very first model, the Model 61, that was slide action. The 62 model was hammer. It had a visible hammer right here. This is a hammerless model. Hammerless model. Now notice that stock right here. It kind of looks like a shotgun, doesn't it? Notice that grip right there. Now right here, right there, that's your safety switch. And let me turn it over very quickly. Notice this. Right there, you can see these sidebars where my finger is. Those sidebars are actually side rails, whichever you want to call them. They are so sturdy and so strong. It's amazing. Now you can see the wear and the tear. Notice here, this receiver. Notice that receiver. Now right here, of course I showed you right there, is your safety switch. Right here is your safety switch. So let's get it right there. But right here is where your eject comes at. Look, see that? That's the slide bar, the first hammerless model. Now, we know that they also made a model, which was actually the 1890 model up to 1906. It also had a hammer, but it only shot a 22 short. Now, this one is 22 short. It shoots a 22 short. It shoots the long as well as the long rifle. And they also made a 22 Magnum. But this one will shoot all three 22 shells or cartridges. The short, the long, and the long rifle. And like I said, it's got a 24-inch barrel on it and a tube magazine, which we're going to load it in just a few minutes. But let me show you the balance of this. Folks, let me tell you something. This was made right at the heart of the Great Depression. And things, like I've said, were so tight back then. This gun sold back in that day, sold for just a little over $24. The Model 62, which was prior to this one, from 1906 to 1932, it sold for just a little over $17. You can't even buy a good steak for that today. Well, all depends on where you live at, you know. For $17, think about it. You might get a good one. It might be tough. But this gun, the 62 model, was just a little over $17. And this one here being the 61 model, it was a little over $24. And folks, I'm telling you something. Times were tough back then. People were struggling to survive. And I'm going to tell you something. History repeats itself. It really does. And people today are struggling. And many of them are just keeping their heads above water and actually struggling to survive. This gun is made in America, made in New Haven, Connecticut. Winchester. There was a lot of competition back in that day. Remington and Marlin and Winchester were in a lot of competition. See, the Model 62 that was introduced in 1906 and it went through 1932, it was a Hammer model. And a lot of people considered that Hammer model to be kind of outdated, and they complained about it being old-fashioned. So when they introduced this model in 32, it was hammerless. And that was high-tech. Let me tell you, that was high-tech. And this year is an amazing rifle. And I have shot it, and I'm going to tell you something. The accuracy of this gun will actually blow you away. Think about it. Think about what it would have been like to be alive back in the 30s, right at the height of the Great Depression. To get one of these, you probably felt like, wow, is this really real? Is it real? It may be like a dream. You may wake up and say, wow, it feels like a dream. I've got something here that I can shoot squirrels with. I can shoot rabbits with this. Oh my goodness, I can take out coyotes with this. Anything that's got 4 legs, well, I'm talking about small game. Let's be realistic here. But this gun has got balance. Let me show you something. As solid as the old timers used to say, as a jug. As solid as a jug. Look at that. And let me work it one more time for you before we load it. Look at that. Slide action. So smooth. I mean, that's as smooth as a baby's bottom. And that big, beautiful, long forearm. And it's grooved. That's quality. You know something? I love stuff that's made in America. This was a classic that Winchester was proud to put their name on. And the owners were proud to be Winchester owners. Made in America. I'm going to tell you something. I love America. I love this country. But I don't love what it has become. Think about it. It used to be that made in America meant everything to the person that would be buying something like this. But today, it's not that way. And that's a sad, sad thing. Very, very sad. But this gun was made in New Haven, Connecticut. It's Winchester proof steel. It's as solid as you could get. It's so solid and beautiful. You can see the age spots all over this stock. Sure, it's old, but it still functions just like it did when it was bought. And this, let me say to you, belonged to my daughter's husband. And it was his grandfather's. It belonged to his grandfather. My daughter's husband. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. Forgive me for getting a little excited here. Because this is a picture of American history. I loved history. Still do. It belonged to my daughter's husband, her husband's grandfather. So it's been handed down 3 or 4 generations. And there's a good possibility that this just might be one of the very first models that was made in 1932. Because you can see the evidence that it's been around a long time. It's about, I want to say it's about 37 or 38 inches long from barrel to stock. Maybe about 38, more like it. And look at that beautiful bead on that thing. One awesome gun. Listen, I've enjoyed bringing this to you. You hang around and I'm going to show you how this gun performs. Age, I'm going to tell you, has its benefits. You know what I'm talking about? And that works with us as humans as well as a good, beautiful gun. This thing works and you're going to see it. So listen, you want to hang around. Don't you go anywhere. No, 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 no. You've not seen the best part of this video yet. I'm going to show you how this gun shoots. So let's do it. All right, now we are ready to shoot. You can see my target out there. I'm about 35 yards. Are you ready for this? Now I'm loaded. I've got my load ready. Here's what those are Super X round nose, high velocity. So that's what I'm shooting. So let's aim and do it. All right. Now, we have another target to shoot at. We're going to shoot about 120 yards, but you're going to see the targets. So let's go do the other shot. All right, now we're ready to shoot. I'm shooting upgrade. Now, the first shot was a 35-yard shot. I'm using another old table here. I'm shooting upgrade. This is actually uphill, about so high. It's uphill all the way. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But I believe this old gun can do it. I believe it can. Listen, I've actually got a link in the description box below. If you get a chance, check out my Patreon page. Would you do that? And also you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. And of course on Truth Social. You can find us on those social networks there. We're going to shoot 4 or 5 times. Remember now, this gun has got an open sight. It's not got a scope. At shooting that range, and especially shooting at an uphill grade, we'll see what happens, okay? I've got a big metal target. You should be able to hear it ring. And let me tell you, it should be able to, it'll be kind of loud. So listen, and also too, don't forget, send me a comment in the box below if you like this old gun, and I'll get back to you. So let's shoot. Safety on. Let's do it. Okay. All right. We shot about 7 times there. Listen, this old gun may be old, but it still works. It works, it works. And listen, to be able to bring to you a classic antique like this, it's a real honor. Winchester made quality when it made this beautiful 61 model. So thank you so much for watching. Now let's go take a good look at those targets. You have a blessed day. Okay, now look folks, you can see my first shot. This was my first shot right here. I had a piece of black tape over that, and of course I hit the bullseye with that and it knocked it completely off. But that is so accurate. You don't find many 22s, especially that old, that has that accuracy. I put a lot of bullets in that, and that just shows the accuracy at 35 yards. Now over here, now here's the one that I did at 120 yards. Take a good look at that, 120 yards. Now of course right there is X marks the spot. Take a look at this. I've shot 6 or 7 times. See there? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That is really awesome. That old gun, my goodness, the performance of it is mind-boggling.